Content warning. Today's reading contains the words Negro and colored used in reference to African American characters. There are also some instances of racism and prejudice against African American people. If you would prefer not to hear this content read aloud by Mrs. LP, please complete the reading on your own. Please open your book to page 73 or scroll to page 80 in the online version and read along. Hair night. Saturday night smells of biscuits and burning hair. Supper done, and my grandmother has transformed the kitchen into a beauty shop. Laid across the table is the hot comb, Dixie Peach hair grease, horsehair brush, parting stick, and one girl at a time. Jackie first, my sister says. Our freshly washed hair damp and spiraling over toweled shoulders and pale cotton nightgowns. She opens her book to the marked page, curls up in a chair pulled close to the wood-burning stove, bowl of peanuts in her lap. The words in her book are so small I have to squint to see the letters. Hans Brinker, or The Silver Skates, The House at Pooh Corner, Swiss Family Robinson. Thick books dog-eared from handing down from neighbor to neighbor. My sister handles them gently, marks the pages with torn brown pieces of paper bag, wipes her hands before going beyond the hardbound covers. Read to me, I say, my eyes and scalp already stinging from the tug of the brush through my hair. And while my grandmother sets the hot comb on the flame, heats it just enough to pull my tight curls straighter, my sister's voice wafts over the kitchen, past the smell of hair and oil and flame, settles like a hand on my shoulder and holds me there. I want silver skates, like Hans, a place on a desert island. I've never seen the ocean, but this too I can imagine. Blue water pouring over red dirt. As my sister reads, the pictures begin forming as though someone has turned on a television, lowered the sound, pulled it up close. Grainy, black and white pictures coming slowly at me. Deep, infinite, remembered. On a bright December morning long ago. My sister's clear, soft voice opens up the world to me. I lean in, so hungry for it. Hold still now, my grandmother warns. So I sit on my hands to keep my mind off my hurting head and my whole body still. But the rest of me is already leaving. The rest of me is already gone. Family names. There's James, Joseph, Andrew, Geneva, Annie Mae, William, Lucinda, David, Talmadge, my grandmother says. Altogether, my mama gave birth to 13 children. Our heads spin at the thought of that many brothers and sisters. 3 died as babies, she says, but only a little of the spinning stops. There's Livonia, Montague, Ayelis, Halik, Valley Mae, Verdi, and Elora on my daddy's side. We can't help but laugh each time our daddy tells us the names of his brothers and sisters. His own name, Gunnar, sends us laughing all over again. Gave their kids names that no master could ever take away. About Bob or Joe, Hope wants to know. But about John or Michael or something real, normal like Hope. Hope is not normal, my sister says. Not for a boy. I think your name is a mistake. Maybe they meant to name you Verdi. I'm the great hope of the family, my brother says, just like Grandpa Hope. Just like Hope the Dope, my sister says back. Keep up the arguing, my grandfather says. I'll take you both down to City Hall. People'll be happy to call you Talmadge and Valley Mae. American Dream. Even when my girls were little, we'd go down there, my grandmother tells us, and people'd be marching. The marching didn't just start yesterday. Police with those dogs scared everybody near to death. Just once, I let my girls march. My grandmother leans back in her brown chair, her feet still in the Epsom salts water, her fingers tapping out some silent tune. She closes her eyes. I let them, and I prayed. What's the thing, I ask her, that would make people want to live together? People have to want it, that's all. We get quiet. Maybe all of us are thinking about the ones who want it, and the ones who don't. We all have the same dream, my grandmother says. To live equal in a country that's supposed to be the land of the free. She lets out a long breath, deep remembering. When your mother was little, she wanted a dog, but I said no. Quick as you can blink, I told her, a dog will turn on you. So my mother brought kittens home, soft and purring, inside of empty boxes. mewing and mewing until my grandmother fell in love and let her keep them. My grandmother tells us all this as we sit at her feet, each story like a photograph. We can look right into, see our mother there, marchers and dogs and kittens, all blending, and us now there in each moment, beside her. The fabric store. Some Fridays, we walk down to downtown Greenville, where there are some clothing stores, some restaurants, a motel, and the Five and Dime store, but my grandmother won't take us into any of those places anymore. Even the Five and Dime, which isn't segregated now, but where a woman is paid, my grandmother says, to follow colored people around in case they try to steal something. We don't go into the restaurants because they always seat us near the kitchen. When we go downtown, we go to the fabric store, where the white woman knows my grandmother from back in Anderson, asks, "How's Gunnar doing and your girls in New York?" She rolls fabric out for my grandmother to rub between her fingers. They discuss drape and nap and where to cinch the waist on a skirt for a child. At the fabric store, we are not colored or Negro. We're not thieves or shameful or something to be hidden away. At the fabric store, we're just people. Ghosts. In downtown Greenville, they painted over the white-only signs. Except on the bathroom doors, they didn't use a lot of paint, so you can still see the words right there, like a ghost standing in front, still keeping you out.